Well, good morning and happy Saturday morning. It is what I think might be the coldest day of the year so far this morning. Seems like a perfect day to try and move sheep, doesn't it? Not these sheep. We're gonna go load up the horse trailer and actually go down to the lower pastures by the dugout. Let's see if we can't bring all the ewes up. Anyways, yesterday we had a comment from one of our viewers, Glenn, wanted to see inside the blue chicken house to take a look at the bedding. So now that it's daylight, I'll try and show you what I mean by our deep litter method. This is the floor of the chicken house. You can see there's lots and lots of wood shavings, and there's manure and there's chicken feathers and all that mixed in with it. So we'll just dig down here. You'll see none of this is ever really too dirty. And right now we got about 8 inches. That's the floor of the chicken house right there. And so we always maintain a balance between good dry shavings and manure. We don't ever let it get wet. If it does get wet, say in an area where we've got like the water jug over here, you'll see it starts to clump up and stuff, and it'll freeze. This is stuff we'll come in with a scoop and just scoop and get rid of that. Because on those warmer days, you get water on the floor, especially in this area where there's lots of manure and chicken urine, you'll get ammonia, and that's just gonna be a recipe for disaster in your coop. But yeah, you can see it's nice and fluffy, nice and dry. Good thick insulating layer on the floor of the house to keep them nice and warm. So I'm down here. This is one of the lower paddocks. This is the small pie-shaped piece. Over there's the big pie-shaped piece. And this is the dugout pasture. You can just see over the ridge, there's a dugout and everything here. I'm gonna put together a bit of a catchment area here, and then we're gonna bring the horse trailer in, back up to this gate and see if we can't get all the sheep on the trailer. Home. Come on, girls. Come on, girls. Always feels good when you call and the sheep come and they follow you around. Makes you feel like the sheep master. This girl back here, that's Juliet. She's our oldest ewe. Wasn't sure if we were gonna breed her last year. This girl right here, this is Queen. This is actually Juliet's daughter. This is one of our best ewes. She's thrown singles so far, but like great big ones. So Queensborough is her ram lamb, and we're probably gonna keep him for our own freezer here this year, and we'll be well stocked. He's a big boy. The other thing Glenn had asked for earlier was to kind of look around the place during the daylight, so you can see, you know, what's working for us, how we're managing certain things. So it's a good time to talk about limiting factors. So as you can see, we're in a winter wonderland. That is 100% our largest limiting factor is simply the weather. There's only so much we can do when the air hurts our face. You can only stand to be outside for so long for, 5 months of the year, it's wintertime. So that creates a ton of work for us. It creates a lot of extra inputs. The other one is daylight. Also, that kind of factors into weather, but daylight savings times, we're not saving any daylight, not at all. In fact, during the winter months, there's less than half of the working day that's actually during daylight. And the last biggest input, of all the many inputs that we have and limiting factors that we have is simply time. Both Carmen and I work opposing shifts, full-time jobs. She works a 4 and 4, I work a 5 and 2. So our days and nights and all that stuff doesn't really line up. So with having only so many hours in the day, having to manage a full-time job or also do some volunteer work in the community. All right, so I got our catchment area built. As you can see, it's just really simple. Security panels, runs them up into the gate here. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump a little bit of grain in here, catch all the ewes, and then pen them up. Go get some more panels and then run up and grab the horse. There we have it. Everybody's all penned up. That only took about 10 seconds. So that's a win. Come on, sheepy sheeps. Well, I sure wasn't expecting loading the sheep to go that smoothly. That's probably the smoothest it's ever been since the original, like the first day we've ever got sheep. Now, oh, we dropped a cabbage patch. The first flock of sheep we got from Fairview, and they were a very hands-off type of flock, very unhandled. They were wild animals, let's be honest. Anyways, it's been a lot of work, a lot of grain treats to get them trained and somewhat accustomed, not only to being handled, but just to not be skittish and frightened. We've still got a couple, like Agatha, for instance. She's a real piece of work. Gertrude, we've got her to kind of come around, which has been good.
Oh no, stay there. Come here. Charlotte.
So another question that came in late last night was if we're advocating to keep water outside the chicken coop because it contributes to the overall humidity inside the coop, why do we keep water inside of our coop, and why do we choose to run a heated water in the coop, which could again contribute to, you know, increased humidity, versus running that heated water outside the coop? So this is one of the things where we preach what we don't practice, and that reason is entirely environmental. I mean, look at where we're at, right? We live in the Great White North, and 80% of the audience doesn't live where the air hurts their face 5 months of the year. We do, but the norm is, you know, more temperate climates where it's not minus 40 for so terribly long. And honestly, if we were to put the heated water outside, it would freeze, and we just can't get ahead of that. And there are days too, if we had a heated water outside and it didn't freeze, the chickens, honestly, some of them, they're so damn stubborn, they would die of thirst in the chicken house rather than go outside to get a drink of water. It probably goes without saying that a thirsty chicken is a non-productive chicken. Now, a reason for that is that a single egg is 76% water. So a chicken itself is going to drink, well, during I guess mild weather, it's going to drink about half a liter a day. But in warm weather and cold weather too, it's going to, you know, more to the extreme sides of things, it's going to drink about 1 liter of water a day per bird. So you can just imagine by the size of your water how much that requires. So we have a 3-gallon water. I got to fill it up every single day. Last year when we had less birds, I only had to fill it up every day and a half to every second day. But now it's quite a bit more. We just got a few more birds. I was actually reading a thing the other day about how much water it really takes to produce an egg, and it's more than just, you know, that half a liter or a liter, depending on the time of the year. It's actually like 53 gallons. It's like a crazy number because of all the water that has to go into obviously watering the feed that we grow for the chickens, and then on top of what the chicken already just drinks on its normal day-to-day basis. So I'm in the coop here. You can see in the nesting boxes there's a bunch of eggs. The other day I tried to switch them to feeding in the late afternoon, early evening, just because I'd read that helps, you know, while they're digesting overnight, helps keep their metabolism running, makes them warmer at night, which is probably an advantage for the winter weather. So give that a try out. The very first day they protested immediately, and instead of like 23 eggs or 24 eggs, we got 9 eggs. So I can see by today looks like we're back to normal production. So we'll just keep going on with this afternoon gig and see if it actually works. A coworker also recently asked me if chickens would just eat snow, and the answer to that is, well, it's kind of a mixed yes and no. Chicken will eat snow. In fact, actually, when I go in with my boots on, they consistently peck the snow off my boots. I don't know why they like that type of snow, but to go outside and peck snow as their primary water source is not a good idea. Chickens don't like to do it. They'll consistently dehydrate themselves, and the reason being, they're not like other birds, right? They're not like ducks and geese and I don't know, however, there's millions of other types of birds obviously that live in the wild that don't have a water source throughout the year, even throughout the winter, I should say. Chickens are just heavily domesticated, and they rely on us to provide that input for them to have fresh, clean water consistently every single day. So yeah, snow will get you by for a matter of a couple of hours, but it's not even a good thing to miss a day. If you miss a day watering your chickens, you'll notice right away egg production will drop. So just, yeah, make sure they got fresh water all the time. Charlotte and I finished up all the chores, so we're gonna go inside and fix up some supper. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please go down below, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you tomorrow.